Bernoulli's theorem. Now, children, suppose you have a tube through which liquid is flowing. This area of cross section is A1 and this area of cross section is A2. Here the liquid is entering with a velocity v1, and here we know from the equation of continuity, as area increases the velocity increases to v2. From the ground, say this is the ground. From the ground, this liquid element is at a distance h1 from the ground, and this liquid element is h2 from the ground. Now liquid is moving. We assume a small time interval t, and within this small time interval we assume this area remains the same. So in small time t, the liquid which moves inside is v1t. The depth is v1t. In the same time, the liquid which moves out is this liquid. As we know from the equation of continuity, there is no reservoir inside, so the mass of liquid entering equal to mass of liquid leaving. So we can say that mass of liquid entering m1 is volume into density. Now what is volume? Volume is area into distance. Volume is area into distance. So this is A1 V1T, and let the density of the liquid be rho. Similarly, mass of liquid leaving M2 is equal to volume into density. We have assumed T to be very small, so the area remains the same. So what is this volume? A2 V2T into rho. Now mass of liquid entering equal to mass of liquid leaving, and we assume that as M. Now Tell me which velocity is greater, v1 or v2. Now, from the equation of continuity, we know if you decrease the area, speed of the liquid will increase. So what happens if you consider the situation at x, let this be x and this be y. If you consider the situation at x and y, you will see that as mass is same in either cases, velocity is more over here. So what happens? Kinetic energy from here to here increases because V2 is more. Here, as velocity is more, but the mass remains the same. Therefore, what happens? There is an increase in kinetic energy from x to y. What is that? It is half m2 v2 square. This mass is m2, this mass is m1, but they are same, minus half m1 v1 square. I can write them as m1 equal to m2 equal to m. I can write this as half m v2 square minus v1 square. Fine. From x to y, kinetic energy increases. What about potential energy? Here the height is h1, here the height is h2. Again we see from x to y, potential energy also increases. So, increase in potential energy What is the increase in potential energy? It is mgh2, m2gh2 minus m1gh1. But the mass is the same. Mass entering equal to mass leaving. So I write this, I take mg common. It is h2 minus h1. Now the problem arises, children. How can it be that as the liquid moves from x to y, the kinetic energy also increases? Potential energy also increases. How is it possible? Now you see, when you are lifting this liquid, you have to use some external force to lift it. Like when you lift water from the ground floor to your terrace, you need a pump to work. So what happens? Let the pressure here be P1, by which you have to move the liquid, and the liquid comes out. The liquid comes out from here with a pressure P2. So, work done by me on the fluid, work done on the fluid. What is the work done on the fluid? It is force into displacement. Now what is the force here? Pressure into area is force. So P1 into A1. What is my displacement? It is V1T. This is the work done on the fluid. Now as the liquid moves out, it does some work too. When it moves out with the pressure P2, it does some work too. So work done by the fluid, work done by the fluid is F2 into S2. What is it? P2 into A2. The pressure is P2, area is A2, and displacement is V2T. This is the work done by the fluid. Now, if you subtract, suppose you do 10 joule of work on the liquid, and the liquid, when it moves out, it does 2 joule of work. So the remaining 8 joule, 10 minus 2, the remaining 8 joule goes for increase in kinetic energy and potential energy. So I can write this as work done on the fluid minus work done by the fluid equal to increase in kinetic energy plus increase in potential energy. I have done 10 joule of work here. When the liquid moves out, it does 2 joule of work. 10 minus 2, 8 joule goes in increasing the kinetic energy and potential energy. Now put the values over here. Work done on the fluid is this one. P1, A1, V1, T. Work done by the fluid. By the fluid is this one. P2, A2, V2, T. That is equal to increase in kinetic energy. Half m V2 square minus V1 square plus increase in potential energy mg H2 minus H1. Now we know, children, from the equation of continuity A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. We know this from the equation of continuity. So here you have A1 V1. Here you have A2 V2. I can write A2 V2 as A1 V1. So next step, what I am doing, I am replacing A2 V2 with A1 V1. So you have P1 A1 V1 T minus P2 A1 V1 T. Now what is your mass? I am taking the mass as A1 V1 T rho. Both the masses are same. So you can take any one. I am taking the mass as A1 V1 T rho into V2 square minus V1 square. Again I substitute the value of mass as A1 V1 T rho. Mass is A1 V1 T rho H2 minus H1. Now if you cancel, children, A1 V1 T cancels. A1 V1 T cancels. So what are you left with? You are left with P1 minus P2 is equal to half rho V2 square minus half rho V1 square plus rho, here G was missing, rho GH2 minus rho GH1. Now if you bring all the ones on one side and twos on the other, you have this P1 plus half rho V1 square plus rho GH1 is equal to P2 plus half rho V2 square plus rho GH2. Now what is this? What is half rho V1 square? Let us see what is half rho V1 square. Now kinetic energy is half mv square. If you divide kinetic energy by volume, what do you have? Half mass by volume into v square. Now mass by volume is nothing but density. So this can be written as half rho v square. So half rho v square is actually kinetic energy per unit volume. Similarly, what is potential energy? Potential energy is mgh. If I divide the potential energy by volume, what do we have? mgh divided by volume. Mass by volume is nothing but density. So rho gh is actually potential energy per unit volume. So children, if you come over here, if I can write a generalized equation, P plus half rho v square plus rho gh will remain constant for all the points. What does it mean? What does it mean? See, if this equation is valid at these 2 points, this equation will be valid for all the points. That is the sum of P is the pressure, half rho V1 square plus rho GH1 is equal to P2 plus half rho V2 square plus rho GH2. So my generalized equation is P plus half rho V square plus rho GH is constant. Now what is this half rho V square? Here you see it is kinetic energy per unit volume. So I know the term half rho V square. It is kinetic energy per unit volume. Now what is this rho GH? Rho GH is again potential energy per unit volume. Now, I don't know this term P. What is this P? P is known as pressure energy per unit volume. Now, what is that? See, for example, children, you have a liquid. You have a liquid and you bring a small mass of liquid M down a distance, say x. You bring it down by a height x. So what happens? When this mass comes over here, there is a loss in potential energy, mgx. When a liquid comes down, there is a loss in potential energy. The liquid is not moving. So what happens? Kinetic energy is not increasing. So how can energy be conserved? There is a loss in potential energy. Where does this energy disappear? This actually, when you come down a depth of liquid, the pressure increases. The pressure increases. at a depth h, what happens? We know, we have learned before, a pressure created is h rho g. Here the h is x rho into g. Now, pressure is x rho g. At a depth x, pressure increases x rho g. Now, if I find the value of x, it is pressure divided by rho g. Put the value of x over here. So this can be written as mg, x is P by rho g. Now g cancels. So what is the loss in potential energy? mp by rho. Now what is mass by density? Mass by density is volume. So this can be written as PV. If volume is 1, then the loss in potential energy comes out as the pressure energy P. If volume is 1, loss in potential gives rise in the pressure energy P. So this P is called pressure energy per unit volume. Pressure energy per unit volume. So this is what Bernoulli said, that pressure energy per unit volume, kinetic energy per unit volume, and potential energy per unit volume remains constant. Now in some books, children, you will find this Bernoulli's theorem written in a different way. Say, what do we have? Bernoulli said P plus half rho v square plus rho gh is constant for all the points. This is Bernoulli's theorem. What is P? P was pressure energy per unit volume. This is kinetic energy per unit volume. And this is potential energy per unit volume. Now, if you divide both the sides by rho g, dividing both the sides by rho g, divide both the sides by rho g, divide both the sides by rho g. Now, if you divide both the sides by rho g, what you have? P by rho g, this rho cancels, v square by 2g plus rho g cancels, h, and this is another constant. In some books, you will find Bernoulli's theorem written in this way. Now, P by rho g is known as pressure head. V square by 2g is known as velocity head. And h is called gravitational head. So in some books, children, you will find that for a streamlined motion of an ideal fluid, definitely Bernoulli's theorem here is applicable for streamlined and ideal fluid. The sum of pressure head, velocity head, and gravitational head is constant. So once again, in some books you'll find Bernoulli's theorem written in this way. in a streamlined motion for an ideal fluid. Bernoulli's theorem is applicable for ideal fluid, and motion is streamlined motion. In streamlined motion, ideal fluid, the sum of the three heads, pressure head, gravitational head, and potential and velocity head, pressure head, velocity head, and gravitational head, remains constant. Bernoulli's theorem is actually, children, it is a statement of law of conservation of energy. It is a statement of law of conservation of energy as applied to fluids when it is moving, to fluids in motion. So remember, it is actually an application of law of conservation of energy for fluids in motion. So what is Bernoulli's theorem? Bernoulli's theorem tells us that if the liquid is an ideal fluid, what do you mean by ideal fluid? It is non-compressible and non-viscous, and the fluid is streamlined, then at every point on its path, the total energy per unit volume. What is the total energy per unit volume? Pressure energy per unit volume, kinetic energy per unit volume, and potential energy per unit volume will remain constant. It's actually a law of conservation of energy applied to fluids which is moving.